welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Boy.
And I'm also joined by the proud new owner.
What are you talking about? No, my name is Terrence. We can continue. We can go on with the show. What's happening?
All I know is that you have now graduated into true blue PlayStation fandom.
Have I?
You have, because you bought.
Yeah, you have.
This isn't an Xbox 360 where because the first 5 broke, you had to buy a 6th Xbox. You voluntarily purchased another PlayStation 4 to enhance your PlayStation experience.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have photographic evidence to prove it.
I never thought that Terrence would have a PS4 Pro before me.
Oh, right. You don't have one.
I don't have one.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That is something.
All right. You know what?
And you don't believe in God?
I just want to say,
just saw a miracle happen.
I just want to say, look, Facebook Messenger. There it is.
Look, I'd be lying if I didn't have it queued up too.
That's funny. All right, look. I got to look. Okay. Here's what happened. The story. What was it, Saturday? No, it was Sunday. Yesterday, matter of fact. Somebody posted something in the Facebook group. What is it? What's the Facebook group? How to get to it?
Densepixels.com.
That's fans. Yeah. They were in there. Somebody posted something about a 20% off discount on at Target for PS4 Pros. And I was like, what is that, like $80 off or something like that? 20% of $400?
$80, yes.
$80, that brings it down to $320. Whatever. That's cool. I'm like, that's still, I don't really feel like paying $320. And it's at Target, which they apparently didn't have a lot of in. So, but I went on to that website and someone said, hey, GameStop is trading them in for trading in PS4s for $170. I was like, wait, what? That's a lot. Like, for real, that's a lot. I've never traded a system in for $100-something. Never.
Damn near $200.
Yeah, $170. I'm like, okay, you know what? So I did the math. Like with tax, the system is like $425 in the state of Maryland. So like, that would be $250 if I were to get a new system. And then I texted Brad and asked, hey, is this true? So yeah, it ends today. I'm like, oh well, shit. So I packed up my PS4, went to go record Black on Black Cinema, and went to GameStop and bought a new one. I bought a PS4 Pro, and I had to wait like 6 hours for all my shit to re-download on a new one because everything's like 40 gigs. But yeah, I got a PS4 Pro. So while my PlayStation, my Xbox One just sits there.
Not just sits there broken.
Yeah. That shit's still broken?
Yeah, I haven't called him yet.
Good God.
It's ridiculous. I don't even know what they're going to say now. It's April. They're broken like January.
I mean, you're still within the 1 year.
Oh, it's a 1 year thing?
Yeah,
okay.
1 year warranty. So
all right. So yeah. And I did that because I got God of War. And I wanted to see how much different. I don't have a 4K television. I wanted to see if it improved anything. And I also have Horizon Zero Dawn and I have Monster Hunter. So I wanted to see if those games looked any better. Monster Hunter doesn't. It just doesn't. Horizon does. I don't think it improves the game. The frame rate is locked at 30, I think, so it doesn't matter whether you put it on enhanced mode or performance mode. God of War, on the other hand, that shit running at 60 frames per second, which you don't get on a regular PlayStation. Nigga. It looks
also got that they added that new mode now for 1080p televisions can also get graphical.
Yeah, they have a checkerboard. They like kind of give it like a slight graphical boost. That's what the Xbox One does too. Xbox One X does the same thing for almost all of the games. So that's the one good thing. It's a more powerful system, but there ain't the shit to play on it, so whatever. it doesn't fucking matter if you can't play nothing on the goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what's the point of having the most powerful console in the world if you're playing Sea of Thieves?
Yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
not exactly the most graphically intensive game to play.
Not at all. It's
There's
water.
State of Decay 2 coming out in a couple weeks, guys. Another graphical powerhouse.
Yo, that's so pissed. That's fucking sad, yo. And Crackdown 3 don't even look that fucking good. Anyway.
Was it Jackson, our fan group, that said he audibly asked his Xbox One, why do you exist?
I think it was. Yo. Like, at this point, like, why? Honestly,
that's just
again, I still like the controller for the Xbox One better, but ain't shit on the motherfucker, yo. Like, yo, this shit makes me sad.
Well, let's get into God of War, because that's what all three of us are playing. I've played the least out of all of us. If I had to guess, I would think that Micah has probably played the most.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah, man. I really enjoy the game. I really do. I thought the kid was going to be annoying. He's not. He's actually a big help once you level him up, because you know, you get access to different types of arrows that do different things, and he's a little badass, man. Like, he is, especially because Terrence and I were talking about this the other day. Yeah, the enemies, they hunt you like a pack of I'm trying not to say niggers, but I don't know what else to say. They hunt you like a pack of them, as Mel Gibson would say. And you know, they don't sit around and wait their turn. You know, like, this ain't some 70s, you know, kung fu movie. Like, they come at you, man. Especially like the wolves. The wolves are even worse. The wolves,
I have my experience is far different than you guys, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. See, I like to enjoy video games, so I'm playing mine on normal.
As a because I'm not a fucking masochist.
But yeah, man, it's really good. I've opened up the world a little bit more. I've gone to some different realms. There's one realm that's just like a battle arena, and I've been, like, whenever I need to kill time, I'll hop in there and just try my best to figure out what to do. Like, the battle arena is kind of weird because they all have stipulations.
Gosh, I'm nowhere near where you guys are then.
No,
yeah, I'm not even there yet.
It's and like, that's completely optional.
Yeah.
Like, you could miss it. Like, you have to gather a certain amount of, you know, widgets or whatever to unlock one of the realms, to unlock the various realms. Like, this game is way more than just the story. And you would, Terrence, you would really like that battle arena. If you have taken to the combat, you will really like that battle arena. Like, I was playing one where one of the stipulations is you have to kill the enemies within a certain amount of time. Like, all of them have to be dead within a certain amount of time, or they'll keep respawning. And I'm just sitting there for 45 minutes trying to kill these different waves of enemies. And it's just fun, man. The combat is real smooth once you get the hang of, like, I don't know why developers choose to put primary action buttons on the shoulders. It's kind of weird. Like, I switched it to classic so that the face buttons are the primary attack buttons. But then I realized I can't move the camera, and I have to be able to move the camera while swinging.
That's why they did it.
Yep, that's why they did it. Like, all right, well, I'm just gonna have to make do doing this shit. and look, I don't want to talk too much about it. I want to let you guys say your piece, but yeah, man, the game is phenomenal.
Terrence, you can go second.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think I might go. I think mine may slightly be a little longer than yours, because I want to talk about the game, and then I also want to talk about the combat system, because I'm playing it on hard mode.
Okay. Well, I want to talk. Well, then I'll talk about the game, and I'm experiencing this on two different fronts. First of all, as a game, and it's funny because it feels familiar yet very different compared to God of War, and just in terms of how the game plays and how it feels and everything. I'm not used to, like I'm waiting for like the swarm of like 20 enemies like you get in like regular God of War. I don't feel like that this game has that. No, or at least
Take your time and enjoy it while you can.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I kind of do appreciate the upgrade system that exists within the game. Obviously, the other God of Wars had upgrades, but they were really, really rudimentary.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you get enough souls or whatever the fuck they are, and you just upgrade your weapon.
Right, and this one actually gives you a little bit of agency, a little bit more agency in that, and kind of lets you customize your play style around your upgrades, which is it reminds me a lot of, and actually Dante's Inferno doesn't get enough credit for like skill tree system, because everyone was too focused on the fact that it was a complete ripoff of God of War, but it does it kind of harkens back to that, which is really cool. But the other thing that's getting me a little bit is the story of the game, and more so because it's hitting me way harder
because you have a son.
Well, not just because I have a son, because I have a son who has autism. And I'm used to being frustrated a lot with him and trying to like shepherd him along and trying to show him the right way to do things. And I understand like the frustration that Kratos has like immediately when he just wants his son to be successful, but he doesn't know quite how to reach him sometimes. Like he is so far early in the game, and I'm super early still, he has this like almost arm's length relationship with his son. And that's kind of the same way that I am too, not by choice, that just because of his condition, like naturally I'm just at arm's length from him because of how his mind works. So, and that's been a little emotional so far playing this game. And who'd have thought that a God of War game,
right.
Sort of,
the protagonist who is the biggest asshole in the world is hitting you with the feels, man. Like it's like, you know, that Eric Andre meme of him killing Hannibal Buress, and it's just like, who killed Hannibal? I saw one with Kratos' face on it, and it was Kratos as Eric and his family as Hannibal Buress. And then you shoot him, right, as Kratos, and then he looks at the camera and says, Ares will pay for this. Like, nigga, you did it. But yeah, man, the story is that relationship is way more fleshed out than I thought it would be. And I was making jokes about how, you know, people are gonna take parenting advice from Kratos once this game comes out. I mean, they might, like, for real, like people might. Now, it can go either one way, either, you know, be tough like Kratos, or, you know, maybe not so tough like Kratos.
Yeah.
And you can tell, even though it's a different voice actor, you could tell the old angry Kratos is still inside, but like he's mellowed out, like he's old, and he's trying his best. You know what I mean? Like it. Who'd have thought, yo? Who'd have thought that a God of War game could take you on an emotional roller coaster?
Right.
I think that you can tell that Cory Barlog has had a lot changed in his life since he directed.
No kidding. You look at Cory Barlog when he did God of War 2, and he looked like a fucking douchebag, right? Now he's an old man with a beard.
Yeah.
And he's got a son.
Now,
and it's just like, you can tell he put a lot of himself into this, man.
Yeah. So I picked up the game. The game itself, it's one of the best games I've ever played. I'm not being hyperbolic. It just is. It looks beautiful. Like if you've noticed, as you're playing the game, if you notice, it's one continuous cut.
Mm-hmm.
There are no loading screens. Once the game starts, that's it. It loads up. Like they'll have like hidden loading screens when you go into like later on in the game, you get to go to the table where you can go to the different realms. And I'm assuming those are just loading up the way they design it, like there are no loading screens. Everything happens. You're fighting, and then a cutscene happens. The camera pans out or zooms in or whatever. You're fighting. The combat it's good. I enjoy it. The problem is the combat is not conducive to the harder difficulty levels because the camera is zoomed in so far, it was zoomed in so close on him. You have to fight. You have to take into account the people behind you. The way they do that is like, okay, if something is about to attack you from behind, the arrows show up. It's either white or it's red. In a harder difficulty setting, if it's red, you're gonna get hit unless you dodge out the way. And sometimes the dodge doesn't actually get you out of danger. It'll put you in danger because you have someone in front of you that'll come lunging at you. You were talking about wolves. I'm on a side mission right now where you got to go to a storeroom or whatever. I'm not really spoiling anything. Yeah. Imagine that room with the wolves.
Nah, yo.
With one wolf that can kill you in one hit.
I'd have turned that shit off.
Like, yeah, I was just playing it. I've been on it for 45 minutes trying to beat it.
So wait, are you playing on like?
I'm playing on hard mode. The hardest mode is fucking locked.
Okay. I'm
going to one right above that. There are enemies when you're on the hard mode where they will kill you. You can have a full health bar. They will hit you one time and they will kill you. So take into effect that you've got like 4 or 5 other wolves just lunging at you because they don't stop. It's a pain in the fucking ass. And again, the combat is really good, but it's not designed for shit like that. It just isn't, you know. It's just driving me fucking crazy. Like the old God of Wars, combat, very good. I could get through 1 and 2 taking very little damage. Like I played through those games multiple times. Once I got into like the hardest modes, like I was good enough that I could, and I feel like you might be able to get good enough to get through this game with taking either no damage or very little. That's probably not likely because the way that they fight, they just keep coming at you, and that shit from behind, you got to keep you have to keep your back against the wall. But if you do that, you back yourself into a corner, and then you're fucked. So it's just weird. But to you guys' point, like again, I like the combat system, but it's just not conducive to like harder levels. I want to give, once I beat it, I want to give that hardest mode a try, and then probably not after 30 minutes because I'll probably like throw my controller through my television, so I don't need that. But getting back to what you guys were talking about as far as the relationship between his son and him, Cory Barlog, like he did base it between his relationship and his son because his wife is Swedish, and his wife has taught his child the language. He doesn't speak Swedish. He doesn't speak whatever language it is at all. So like when he's running through the game and he's telling him to read these different like the what do they call them?
The runes, or
like the runes and shit like that. That's kind of how he is with his son. His son knows the language, but he doesn't. So like when his grandparents and everything are over there and they're speaking in their native tongue, he's like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. He hasn't learned, like his wife speaks it. It's that, and then also the fact that he's trying to learn how to teach his son, but at the same time, that story is so good. Like it's so good. Like I can't.
Yeah,
this game is really fucking good, man.
You really feel for that kid, man, and I was ready to hate that kid. I was ready to hate him
because you don't like child actors.
I don't like child actors, man.
Kratos is like, look, god damn it, son or boy. I mean, at this point, I'm like, nigga, I have a name, yo. It's Atreus.
But he does call him Atreus when he's worried. You know?
Yeah, when he's fucking worried or is in danger, he calls him Atreus. But every other time, boy. All right, bro. Like, please. I think they have like a smash cut of him just saying boy on YouTube or something like
conscious decision to.
Yeah, no, he did. I want to know. Like I gotta finish it because there's got to be a reason. There's got to be reasoning why he's like boy.
So I also love how he does the like the Dr. Cox thing from Scrubs, where like he goes to pat like JD on the back. He's like,
it's awesome. Yeah, I'm like, come on, dog. Yeah, I get it.
That's too gay. I can't do it. Like, what? Right? What are you doing, yo?
Yo. He has like no fucking compassion. He does, but at the same time, he just doesn't know how to show it. Like there's certain sections where he's telling them stories. He's like, tell me a story, Dad. He's like, the tortoise was too fucking slave. Like the hair was he had too much hubris. That's it.
There was a race between a tortoise and a hare. The tortoise won.
It's like
Story, Dad.
like that's it. Like, yeah, I'm done. What the fuck? Fuck off, nigga. Like, we gotta kill these monsters. Like, it's that relationship is funny, and at the same time, it's just like, come on, man, just show your kid that you love him. But he does in different ways.
Right.
There are back to gameplay. There are a lot of different enemy types and different types within types.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the game is not afraid to throw in the different types all at you.
Oh, I know. I don't know if enemy composition is different on the harder levels, but
yo, have you fought travelers yet? If you'll know them when you find them.
Oh Lord.
Yo, they're just the dudes with shields. Like they got these big ass shields, and the shields are impregnable. Like you can't even stagger them. You know what I mean? Like it is. But I'm hunting them because you get a nice piece of armor if you collect the stuff that you get from them.
Oh,
but like I'll have to fight one of those and one of those revenants. I this morning before I went to work, I wanted to finish a quest. And I had to fight one of the dudes that powers up with fire.
Yep, I know
exactly. I had to fight two of them, plus a revenant flying around being an asshole. And then there was an environmental effect, like something in the environment was affecting the battlefield.
Like the smoke, like this poison?
I don't want to tell you what it is, but it was affecting the battlefield. And while it did affect the enemies too, it seemed to affect me just a little bit more.
Yeah, because I did a quest where there was an elemental effect going on in the world. I'm like, yo, this is fucked up. Like it just came out of nowhere. I'm like, really, nigga, you got me fighting like 7 of these motherfuckers, and this is happening. Okay, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know what quests are yet. That's how.
Oh wow, yeah, you're
really, there is so much to do. And the thing is, like, again, he said it's all optional. Like they don't really hold your hand. Like,
nah,
you just kind of happen across them.
You have to look for it. Like your son eventually will be like, okay, so we can either do this or we can explore.
Right. I like how his son is basically the catalyst for like you not going off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Because his son is like, yo, I'm a kid. I want to do all this kind of weird shit. Like, hey, I'm distracted. And Trader's like, no, we gotta finish this quest. But he's like, oh, come on, Dad. Let's really. So you just end up going exploring, and then you find other shit. And like, yo, there is way more to this game than just killing stuff.
And everywhere you go, there is no, oh, I went here and wasted my time. Like something is there. There's some sort of treasure chest there.
There's something there where you can't get it now.
Right.
You got to come back later.
And you got to come back. And I'm like, oh, how am I going to remember this? No, you'll remember.
Yep.
So the game is great, man. I got spoiled on a couple things because Screen Rant decided to post a spoiler and show the picture of the spoiler in the headline. So
that's
fuck you.
Dumb.
But yeah, that's insane.
But yeah, man, this is a blast, and I see myself normally with games like this, big games like this, I just kind of blow through the story because I want to see what the story is. Nah, man, like there are certain challenges that I want to do, and yeah, it is deserving of all the praise it is getting.
The last thing I will say is, like, they basically, I actually posed this to Micah yesterday. They basically did a complete reboot of the series, and as I was playing it, it reminded me of the reboot that Resident Evil did. Remember all the 3 Resident Evil, or the 7 Resident Evil games that came out before Resident Evil 4, and then Resident Evil 4 came out with the behind the back view and like just a whole brand new, fresh look to it. I feel like, I don't know if they took inspiration from that, but this is what this feels like to me. Only they blew it out of the fucking box.
Yeah,
because the world is huge and a different. Like when I started going to different realms, I'm like, yo, the like Midgard is fucking big. Like I'm going to other. What the Jesus Christ? This game is huge. It's pretty amazing and it's not the biggest open world that you'll ever play, but just the scope of everything that you see. Like everything is just big. Like the monsters are big. There's certain things that show up that are huge, and they're just kind of sitting there. I'm like, how much power is this taking the fucking to have this on screen while you're doing all this other shit? It's
a lot, considering my PS4 Pro sounds like a jet engine while it's
Oh, yours. I keep my PS4, my launch PS4 in a cabinet. I gotta open up all the doors to the cabinet. Shit sounds like it's about to blow up.
It's a lot, man. But
the first time I was playing it with headphones on, and I took them off to go grab like a drink. I took them off. I just heard,
but honestly, if you have a PlayStation 4, there's no reason why you shouldn't have this game. There just isn't.
Right.
Like even if you put it on like easy mode, just to kind of go through the story, just to enjoy it, it's that good. And some people bought PS4 strictly for this game.
I mean, look, I can't talk because I do that shit all the time. But if you don't have a PS4 and you really like video games, you might want to think about it, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I bought a whole new PS4 to play this shit.
I do want to see what it looks like in 60 frames.
It looks amazing. Like it looks so fucking good. I don't know what are you using resolution mode or are you using performance when you play?
Performance mode, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the thing to do.
Yeah, it looks so
the correct answer for any game that gives you the choice is always performance
mode.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Frame rate will always be more important than
I agree.
Yeah, because it looks hideous without the visual enhancement mode. Whatever.
That game is god damn it.
I don't know.
I can talk about the game for but it's
I don't know if Brad will get this, but I know Terrence will. In certain shots, Kratos reminds me of Paperboy. Like I think it's just from Atlanta. I think it's the eyes, man.
Okay, I thought you were talking about Paperboy, the Atari game from.
No,
not like what? That is egregious.
Like it's the eyes, yo. Like it's just that exasperated. Like, you know how Paperboy is always just exasperated.
He looks so weird. No, he looks like I started calling him Triple Kratos.
Yeah,
because he looks like Triple H.
Man.
He looks just like Triple H with that fucking beard, man. That shit is just weird.
Yeah.
In certain shots, Atreus looks like Henry, like Andy's kid.
Yeah, he kind of does. Yeah, he's got a little tuft of red hair.
Certain angles, he looks like Henry.
Now I'm just picturing Andy as good, referring to his son as boy. Andy's voice, you know. Andy's a big dude, but he doesn't have the deepest voice. Boy. That's my impromptu Andy impression. Boy. Read this.
What's it say? All right, fine.
All right,
fine.
I'm done.
Yeah, we talked about God of War for damn near half an hour.
It's a great game, man.
It is a great game, and I look forward to playing more and feeling a certain way as we go.
You gonna cry,
right?
I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, there are certain scenes already that I've been through. Like, god damn, dog.
Well, make sure you go to youtube.com/10pixels to check out our YouTube channel. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way you can see when we post video episodes of this podcast and any other nonsense that we upload to our channel at some point. If you're not a premium member of TNP Studios, you should go to densepixels.com/premium. Sign up for premium membership today. It is just $5 a month or $50 for the entire year. That unlocks access to over 300 hours of premium content with our premium slate of shows, including the Look Forward Political Podcast, The Area of Grievances, The Men with the Golden Tongues, No Time to Bleed, and you also get video episodes of the Inner Apocalypse Podcast as well. And no matter what podcatcher you use, be it Apple Podcast, Google Play Music, Spotify, or any other app out there for podcast, if you search for Dense Pixels, you can find us on there. Make sure you subscribe to the show. That way episodes will be delivered to you while you sleep. We're sitting onto your phone in the middle of the night. Listen to us in the AM.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Look Forward. What the hell is it? Did it come out yet?
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah, it came
Is
up.
it? Damn, I missed it.
You did a very good job, Brad.
Thank you. Me and Jay there are no more there's no more Republicans and Democrats, Terrence. There's progressives and regressives. And you guess
I'm pretty sure I know which one is which.
Yeah, which one is which. So so moving on, new releases this week. The Invisible Hours released for Xbox One. And also the PS4 version, which already came out, no longer requires the VR headset to play. You can play it in non-VR mode now as well. Rick and Morty Virtual Rickality is releasing on disc. It came out 2 weeks ago on digital for the PlayStation 4. That is a VR game if the name was not apparent enough. There's a couple Switch games that are not new games to the gaming world, but they're new to Switch. I know Darkest Dungeon's coming out for Switch. I know Max and the Curse of the Brotherhood's coming out for Switch. I can't remember what the third one is off the top of my head, but it's something else that came out a while back anyway. Digitally, I have to believe that Terrence snuck into Redmond, Washington, took a break from his PlayStation fandom, snuck into Redmond, and personally curated most of this month's upcoming Games with Gold list. Because this is a Terrence-ass list if I've ever seen one in my entire life. The one game that he had no input on was Super Mega Baseball 2, which is free for the entire month of May on the Xbox One.
I didn't even see these games.
Well, I know. So your mind's about to be blown. Second half of May into the first half of June, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, free on Xbox One. From what I hear, it's an excellent game. Somehow I still haven't played it yet. I have it free on PlayStation though because it was free on there a few months back.
Yeah.
But now we have it on Xbox, and that's very good.
Honestly, don't bother.
Yeah.
Just play God of War instead.
Yeah.
On your PS4.
Play it again.
but on 360, Terrence must have hand selected both of the games that's available here because for the first half,
oh shit,
you get the Streets of Rage series from the Sega Vintage Collection. That's not one, not two, but all three Streets of Rage titles that came out for the Genesis. One of Terrence's favorite all-time game series.
Yes, it is.
And then the second half of May, you get one of the most underrated games of all time, one of the best games that Platinum Games has ever put out. And you're thinking, Platinum Games, it's hack and slash, right? Oh, no. It's a third-person fucking shooter from Platinum Games, and that is the cult classic Vanquish.
Vanquish is fucking amazing. That game was running at 60 frames on the 360.
Yeah.
The game was amazing.
And it wasn't ugly either.
It wasn't ugly, and there was a lot going the fuck on in that game.
Look, I've never played Super Mega Baseball. I know for a fact that neither of my two co-hosts will ever play Super Mega Baseball.
I don't know what that is.
The first one got really good reviews, so I'd have to imagine the second one equally as good. So that is 4 really solid fucking Xbox games. So I guess you won't get new Xbox One games, but you can play classic Xbox One games for free. As long as you have Xbox Live Gold. So that's your games with gold. It's a very good month for Xbox this month.
Jesus Christ.
Other digital releases, a digital demo for Detroit Become Human releases on PlayStation 4 this week. This is the first mission of the game, the Connor, the android detective mission, which everyone had probably seen in trailers or from gameplay conferences by now. If you're have any interest in this game, you can play that mission to see if this game is up your alley. It's very good. I've played this mission before. It's very fun and strikes the itch that I want from a Quantic Dream game.
Here's the thing before you continue.
Mm-hmm.
It's another PlayStation. I don't give a fuck about this game. Become Human. I don't care about it, but it's an exclusive.
It is
PlayStation.
It's an exclusive, and it's not like it's a high budget like exclusive. You know what I mean? Like, no offense to State of Decay. I'm sure State of Decay is very fun and all that, but like State of Decay don't have Jesse Williams in it.
No. Probably got a nigga that looked like Jesse Williams.
It's also a $30 game. State of Decay is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck Sea of Thieves was 60.
It's the water.
That ain't no $60 game.
The water. Remember back in the day on the PS2 era when water effects were how you determined whether or not like a game looked
Yeah,
good.
because water is really difficult to do, apparently.
Yeah.
And
I
Rare nailed it.
I distinctly remember a buddy of mine, and he would just I forget what game it was, but he would just be like, "Yo, look at the water, yo. Look at the water." And I'm just like, yeah, those water effects are really good.
A lot of people don't like water levels because they freaking freak out. So fucking disappointed in Microsoft right now. Like I just am, you know. Like I can't make excuses for them. They just fucked up. Like when the best shit coming out is like Vanquish, a game that came out 10 years ago. Whatever, man. Moving on. I don't know.
Emily wants to play an Xbox One and PS4 survival horror game. This gives
Well, why don't you let her play, Brad?
I don't
really.
It gives a very Five Nights at Freddy's vibe from the screens I've seen of it. Agatha Knife is an Xbox One game that apparently, according to the synopsis of the game, that explores the internal struggle between loving animals and being a carnivore.
I swear, yo, come on, yo. What the fuck?
That moral quandary that nobody has. Well,
come on.
Have it.
It's a PC game too.
Of course it is. I'm sure
Steam game
came out on Steam first. Corgan is an Xbox One dungeon crawl adventure that reminds me of Trine because you have 3 characters that you can cycle through like on the fly that all have different abilities. There's a VR game coming out is Major League Baseball Home Run Derby. This is a mode they've put in MLB The Show before. I guess they are now slicing it off and selling it separately. And then the Swords of Ditto, PlayStation's promoting the hell out of this game on their marketplace. It's an action RPG that's only coming out on PS4, so you can check that out as well. Release date and new game announcements. Falk is dropping for Street Fighter V this week. The 3rd character from season 3, I think.
Yeah, the 3rd.
Falk came out already too, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So 3rd character from season 3. NBA Playgrounds 2 is coming out this summer. Something
you weren't fond of the first one, right?
I
didn't like that one at all.
I wasn't fond of the first one, and I'm even more bitter now because it makes the first one look like a colossal beta test for the actual release of NBA Playgrounds coming this summer in the form of NBA Playgrounds 2. Because they're actually adding like a legitimate like single player like, you know, playthrough mode, and they're making sure the online is nice and robust. And yeah, I was a little miffed to see this announcement happen. Instead of updating the first game, they're just like, oh no, we're making a sequel. I'm just like, but it's going to be the same thing as the first game, just with new modes and okay, guys. It's a sports game, I guess. And then Night Trap is coming to the Nintendo Switch because people couldn't get enough of it on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, I guess. So now it's coming out for the Nintendo Switch. Only notable because Nintendo did once say that Night Trap will never see the light of day on any of our consoles. That was back in 1993, though. This is a new refined Nintendo that cares about the hardcore gamer by releasing Night Trap.
Like, why? This doesn't make a lick of sense. So
that is all of your release date news and new game news. So I will pass it to Terrence, who has our headline.
Excuse me. Damn. First up, Capcom is shutting down Puzzle Fighter that came out in November of last year. Yeah, the mobile Puzzle Fighter game came out in November of last year, and apparently didn't do as well as they hoped.
Yeah, there's a good reason for that. I played that game.
I'm assuming it wasn't.
Balls.
How do you play that on a phone?
Well, it's doable. Like you can play Falling. I played Lumines on a phone as well. Basically you move the, you slide your finger, you slide the piece back to left and right to determine where you want it to go, and you tap it to rotate. It's not ideal, but it's okay. The reason why Puzzle Fighter on mobile fucking sucked is because they turned it into a very bullshit, shitty, fucking free to play experience where it's like, here's free plays today. Oh, but if you want to do more shit, you could give us money to get like unlock, credits and this, that, or the other, and you can buy characters and you can do. I'm just no, absolutely
on a puzzle fighting game.
Yes,
no thanks.
I was kind of excited when that game came out. And played it, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
I didn't even bother downloading it when I saw the little thing that said in-app purchases. Like,
yeah. I don't do mobile games at all. So, yeah,
they certainly fucking did it. The in-app purchases. And it was not well. Like, there are good free to play games, and there are games that give you a very fair free to play experience out there on mobile. This is not one of them. Not at all.
Yeah, well, I don't do mobile, period, because the control scheme, I don't like tapping against the screen for all that shit. But yeah, 5 months. Yeah. They're like, and apparently the team, some of the team that worked on that is going to start working on a mobile unnamed Dead Rising game, because that's something.
Or maybe just a regular Dead Rising game. It doesn't necessarily say it's a mobile Dead Rising game.
Who cares?
How did Dead Rising 4 do? That's a good question. That needs to be.
It's fun. A lot of zombies on screen. I don't know how well it sold. Guess it didn't have to do that great because I don't know. Because it came out around the same time that Resident Evil 7 came out, if I'm not mistaken. Or did that come out first?
It actually came out during December because it was a Christmas themed game. Like that was the game took place in.
Then RE7 came out, and I guess that kind of started Capcom's resurgence.
Well, the other thing that was stupid is that when they first released it, they released it exclusively on Xbox One for a year. It didn't come out on PlayStation until last December, to the accolades of nothing, because nobody gave a flying fuck when it came out.
Nobody gave a shit about that by the time. Yeah.
I'm looking here at their total sales for Dead Rising 4. It would appear that it sold less than 1 million copies, at least, and physical. I don't think digital sales are counted in here, so you can't factor that in. But yes, less than 1 million copies of Dead Rising 4 for the Xbox One. So,
Jesus Christ.
Good job, Capcom.
Lord. Every day. Every fucking day.
At least they got Monster Hunter.
I stray further and further away from Microsoft. Like, it's really pissing me off. Anyway.
You notice you're wearing, it's a gray shirt, but it's a bluish gray.
No, it's not. Stop grasping at straws, nigga. Oh, man.
Right, I think what Brad means is it is way more blue than it is green.
It is true.
No, that is the reflection of my screen that is making it look blue. This is like slate gray.
You know what it's not, though? It's not Xbox green, I can tell you that.
I don't have a lot of green going on.
Oh, we know.
Yeah. Shut up. Anyway, next story. Hearthstone's game director quits. Ben Brode announced today that he would be departing his job at Blizzard and plans to help start a new company. Wow, he just was like, I'm done. Brode's departure comes as a shock to Hearthstone fans. The game designer has worked for Blizzard's 2002.
Mm-hmm.
He's been with them for 16 years. Starting out as an entry-level game tester. Wow. See, you can do it. You start out as a game tester making nothing. Then you work your way up.
That's what Sony told all those poor suckers who was on the tester. Congratulations, you can win your chance to be a video game bug tester.
Yeah, no.
I watched that show.
You did?
I watched it.
What happened?
It was bad.
Like, what kind of
nothing and much like Tough Enough, nothing came of them.
Like, what do you film? Like, when
they
you
do like they had them do like.
Did they do the confessionals?
They had them do gaming challenges and they had them do physical challenges. Like it was, and it was
to become
weird.
a video game tester.
Yeah, it was a game show, man. Like you can't just sit there and watch people find bugs in games for half an hour amongst like 4 or 5 episodes. Like,
Did they at least win some money for winning and then become a tester?
I think you want a little bit of money. But it wasn't enough to. Nah.
The tester.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so this guy, he started out as a tester. Did he design Hearthstone? I'm reading through this now.
I think he was the game director of Hearthstone.
Oh. So yeah, he worked his way up. That's cool. But he was like, I'm done. I'm done with you guys. I'm gonna start my own company.
Yeah, I mean, like he did shepherd, arguably one of the most successful mobile games in history. So
yeah. I mean, that's cool. I mean, good for him.
What else can you do?
Good for that straight white male. I don't know. I feel
guy's
like
probably a pillar of his community.
I'm sure he is. He's still. This is how we're in the age of like everything's offensive, right? And everything is straight white men's fault. I mean, that's true. Everything is straight white men's fault. But whatever. Like he worked his way up. It's cool. He's gonna start his own company. That's great. Good for him. Next up, Valve acquires Firewatch developer Campo Santo. Did anybody play that?
I meant to.
You haven't? You actually own it?
I bought it, but I never actually got a chance to play it yet. I really wanted to.
Same here. I bought it and just never got around to it because I like the concept of this adventure game where it's you exploring and the only other person around is a disembodied voice and
on the radio.
Yeah. But it seemed like something that I would rather watch than play.
That's why Twitch is there.
Yeah.
You can stream it or just watch YouTube videos of people beating it or whatever. Yeah. I tried to play it. I got bored. It's not my type of game.
Jack liked it, if I recall correctly.
Did he play? Yeah.
I know he played it. I'm pretty sure he liked it.
Yeah, he's weird. He likes to he said he'd rent a Winnebago and travel the country in it if he had the money. Remember he said that? That's what he said, right?
I remember.
That was some weird shit. Like, what?
I remember.
That's fine.
That is the difference between individuals.
Individuals.
Yeah, because I'm not going to the middle of nowhere. I'm going to somewhere that has a highway system.
Is that your only requirement? Is that they have a functioning interstate?
Yes.
And a lot of black folks.
I don't even need that.
Yeah, I bet say
I do.
He's been to pockets of Europe that certainly do not have a lot of black folks.
Yeah. I've been to places in Europe where the brown people are the ones that everybody hates, and not just the black people.
Or I'll say a bunch of brown folks. Maybe not just black folks, but like too many white folks scare me.
I'll go to Japan. I've been to Italy. Ain't no black people in Italy. None.
That's a nightmare for me.
And my wife promised to take me to Japan for my 40th.
Was that 2 years?
Yeah. And I'm holding her to it.
Right. You got a calendar already set for 2020. Like,
been to Paris twice, lady. It's my turn.
Got his Naruto headband polished.
Oh Lord!
Yeah, doing
Naruto
run.
That is unacceptable.
Are you gonna check your katana, or is that gonna go in your carry-on?
No, I got to get a real one. I got to get a real one from Japan.
How does that get back?
I'll mail it
through the mail. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just mail it.
I mean, it only costs like $200 to ship, but it'll get there.
Yeah, it'll get there eventually.
Yeah, if it takes $200, that shit better get there in 2 days. Fuck that. But Firewatch developer was bought by Valve.
They're coming out with a game called In the Valley of Gods that I'm actually really interested in.
Yeah, we talked about it. I think I can't remember if it was a news story or if it came up during E3 coverage, but
I think it was E3 because I was very, very upset. Like I saw this and I'm like, wow, this actually looks kind of cool. And hey, look at that. It stars a couple of black chicks with real black hair. And,
right. Yeah, this was E3.
and at the end of it, it said 2019, and I'm like, what the fuck?
And now that they're with Valve, you can probably back that up to 2021.
Yeah.
Damn.
If ever.
Yep, I do remember this. Yeah. Right. Well, hopefully this comes out sooner rather than later. I don't feel like trying to look through the story to see.
I mean, there's not
much. They just bought him.
Like they just acquired him. Valve is making games again for real this time. So
are they?
Supposedly.
Oh, and the last story for headlines is Cory Barlog reading the reactions to his wonderful game. Like, look, man, 5 years of work to get almost perfect 10s, to get 10s and shit. Like, no game is a 10. It's not a thing. But good for him, man.
I will say, I was touched by his genuine emotion that he showed. I was also super glad when he did make sure to put the caveat out there that this shit really shouldn't matter, as i.e. reviews. Because when I saw the video, I'm like, oh god, it's like, please don't make people think that these fucking scores make any fucking bit of difference with games nowadays. So he did at least put that out there.
Right. No, but that's really fucking cool, man. Like, I can't imagine putting my heart into something like, especially this personal, for 5 years and coming out and people just loving it the way they are. Like, they're like, this is the pinnacle of gaming. Like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'd be crying like a bitch too. But no, I'd be pretty goddamn, like, I would be emotional. I would. Like, that's cool. Like, and having played a little bit of it, like, he deserves it, man. It's great.
What do you think of Christopher Judge as Kratos as opposed to Terrence T.C. Carson?
Fine. I thought it would be weird. I think it's not weird because of how tonally different the character is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was
running around screaming at everybody.
Yeah, like I can't imagine Kyle Barker like toning it down after screaming at the top of his lungs about how he's gonna kill his dad for 3 games. You know what I mean?
I think he could do it. Like, you just take your fucking living single character. He'd be fine. Yeah, that's it. Take a little living single character and just tone it down a little bit. But no, I actually like this dude's voice. It's like, it's deeper than TC Carson's voice. It feels like it has a little bit more gravitas than his, which is
right. As really if that could happen, right? Like,
right. Like, what the fuck?
Kyle Barker.
Boy.
God damn.
Pull my goddamn speakers out every time he says shit. I gotta turn the fucking bass down a little bit. But yeah, it's like his the fact that he's so much calmer, but he still has it, like when he flips out in certain, like, it's, yeah. I don't really miss TC Carson's performance.
Yeah, that was my thing. Yeah. I thought I was gonna miss him. I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle.
The weird thing is, like, the redesign of Kratos, he still looks like Kratos, but the voice doesn't match the face to me anymore. Like, he looks a lot more European in this game to me, honestly. So the voice is kind of like, it doesn't match the face. Like, it matched, like, in the first 3 or the first 7, however many fucking games that came out before this one. Like, the voice actually matched what he looks like. He doesn't really. Again, he looks like Triple H to me, and that voice just doesn't match. But again, the voice is fine, but yeah, it's a little off just because of the way he looks compared to the voice.
Why can't we go to the mountain, Dad? Because it's best for business, son.
Oh man!
Right now, you're just a B+ player.
I mean, like, he's kind of saying that.
Yeah, that
is. He's kind of saying
it. Not ready, boy.
Oh shit.
So if you now listen up, folks. there's a multitude of ways to support the show. The easiest way and the best way to support the show is to go to densepixels.com/Amazon when you buy anything from Amazon.com. So if the power of PlayStation overcomes you, much like it did Terrence this past weekend, that you have to go out and buy a PS4 Pro and a copy of God of War, why not order from Amazon? And why not use our link, densepixels.com/Amazon when you do? Because you will pay the same low price that it costs to buy those items from Amazon.com. You will get a small percentage of the sale, which goes to help the podcast, helps us pay for hosting fees, equipment, things like that. We're not seeing any money from that personally, but it helps support the show so that we're not paying out of our pockets to do this shit for you guys. So again, densepixels.com/Amazon. Whenever you buy anything off Amazon.com, big or small. I know a ton of you out there use it. Thank you for those of you that have used it before and that continue to do so. And if you haven't, give it a try. Because again, as we say occasionally on the show, Dense Pixels, far easier to spell than the Nerdpocalypse. And also fewer characters than Black on Black Cinema.
Yeah.
So again, densepixels.com/Amazon. It's easy. Super easy.
Top stories, because I don't have a funny segue. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is doing the unthinkable, in air quotes, and it will not include a traditional single-player story mode. Reportedly, according to sources from the fake news media. The sources who have apparently asked for anonymity say that Black Ops 4's release date as Black Ops 4 as the release date approaches, it becomes evident that development on a single player campaign won't be completed. One source says Treyarch has since focused Black Ops 4's development on expanding multiplayer and the series' popular zombie mode. The source describes an emphasis on cooperative modes as a potential stand-in for the typical single-player campaign experience. Wait a minute, this sounds familiar. It was called the first Titanfall.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Everything comes full circle. So if this is to be believed, it sounds like that they started work on a single player campaign and then decided to pull the plug at some point.
Yeah, I thought Black Ops was like Black Ops, the story mode has gone through quite the roller coaster ride, right? Like, didn't it start in Vietnam?
It is the one. It's the story thread. I mean, really, there's only two story threads in Call of Duty anyway. But of the two, franchises that have persisted the longest, it's the one that was the most disjointed.
Yeah,
like Modern Warfare has a very specific and direct arc to follow.
Yeah, doesn't Black Ops jump from time frame to time frame? Jump from did it start in Vietnam?
It did,
and then it kind of jumped into the 80s and
modern.
Yeah, I don't know what. I haven't played any of them,
or not the space, but it went to the far future.
I literally have not played any of those, so I don't know. But if they don't have a single player, who cares? No one plays it anyway.
Well, maybe that's what
people play Black Ops for the single player and then just get rid of the game. No one gives a fuck. They put all those resources into the single player, and everyone jumps right into multiplayer. That's basically what Black Ops is. That's basically what Call of Duty is at this point. Did anyone rave about the single player in this World War II one?
People said it was good. But nobody really raved about it, saying that it was all-time thing or anything like that.
Now here's the thing: do you still make it $60 if it's just single player only?
Yeah, I think you can. I don't.
Yeah, you can.
Because I mean multiplayer only.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, because you're paying for a full gaming experience, and like you just said, people don't play. If people don't play the single player, but they still pay $60 just to play the multiplayer, they're getting their full game experience.
Yeah, I guess.
So
here's an interesting thing. So I assumed that they wouldn't make this decision without having data on hand to support this. Okay. So I went to Exophase, which is a website that tracks PlayStation trophies. Now, this is anecdotal because it's just PlayStation, doesn't count Xbox, but I'd imagine that the rates are somewhat similar. So I'm looking at the trophy list for Call of Duty World War II, which is the most recent one that came out. And the trophy to complete the campaign has only been earned by 35% of people that have played Call of Duty.
Just to beat the campaign.
Just to beat the campaign.
Not on any kind of difficulty setting.
No difficulty setting, just beat the campaign, period. If we go to the first mission of the game, which is the D-Day mission, where you land on Normandy and run up the beach, there's a trophy for that mission specifically, which has only been attained by 65% of players. So that means 35% at least of Call of Duty players that played Call of Duty World War II did not even start the campaign at all.
That's ridiculous. Well,
and 65% of the total players did not bother finishing it. Wow. Even if they did start it. So, I mean, to me, that's like a fair argument for, because it's not like that these campaigns are, you know, like we joke at them all the time because you can beat them in 8 hours, and that is how they are. But it's not as if they don't take a lot of resources to develop. And if you're Treyarch and you look at this information, they probably have way more detailed information than that, as far as like they can probably narrow it down to how much time people spent and that kind of stuff too. Then why wouldn't you say, man, like we have this campaign that literally a third of our players aren't even experiencing.
They probably put more resources into the single player than the multiplayer.
I don't know if that's true, because multiplayer is what makes them their money.
Yeah, I mean, it does, but like if you look, they have to get actors. Like they always get like high paid actors. I mean, the graphics they're nothing to necessarily sneeze at.
Financial resources.
Yeah, that's what I mean. As far as money, they put more money into that single player than they do. But then again, you got to take into account like servers and all that shit. But like, I mean, actual monetary resources to get the game developed. Yeah, I can't imagine they don't put more money into the single player than the multi, because they already have a freaking the groundwork for their multiplayer. They just put a new skin on it.
Yeah, that's
why. So yeah.
So I when I saw this news, like I wasn't surprised. I wasn't even really surprised, because I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense. And especially like when you look at other games in the space, like Overwatch, for example, or even like a PUBG, which is a game built on one mode of gameplay. And I know it's not a $60 game, but still, I mean, that is one mode of gameplay that's multiplayer only, and it's one of the most. It was the most successful game of last year, arguably. So yeah, I can't blame them for taking a step back and be like, do we need this game mode? Now it's going to cost them some sales. That believe it or not, there are some people out there that buy Call of Duty still for the single player, which I can't fucking understand. But I think long term, I mean, they're looking at it as, okay, we can get rid of this, put these resources into our multiplayer mode and our zombies mode, make it even better. I don't see how that's a bad move on their part, honestly.
Yeah. I agree. I don't I mean, look, it's been a long time coming, right? I mean, this is the logical progression, and you gotta start somewhere. So, and like you said, their direct competitors have done it, and you know, even people who don't compete with Call of Duty. I mean, don't be surprised if you see some weird first-person battle royale mode.
You know that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
You absolutely know that's happening.
They'll call it like you know, I don't know, fucking the Hill of Iwo Jima or some shit like that. I don't know, but they'll rebrand that shit and yeah, and look, if ditching a single player means you get a really good battle royale game out of it, along with like other modes, I mean, hey man, go for it.
So let me bleed into question of the week before we get to the listener responses. I'll ask you guys the same question. Do you think that this will trigger like a reaction throughout the rest of the industry in its contemporaries, like a Battlefield or games like that that'll also forego single player for multiplayer.
I thought Battlefield already did an entry that was just only multiplayer. I don't know. I don't play Battlefield, so
I think all of their games have at least had even a short campaign, but a campaign nonetheless.
Maybe I'm just thinking of like a single player disc and a multiplayer disc.
That could be.
Yeah. Because I know I know these games now, they're just like, which one do you want to play first? Multiplayer or single player? Boot up the one that you want to play first while the other installs. So I mean, I don't see why not. Like you said, you mentioned Overwatch, and you mentioned PUBG and Fortnite and all those games. I mean, PUBG and Fortnite never had or Overwatch, they never had single player components, but yeah, because at first I was like, well, maybe Call of Duty could, how they release each series. The Black Ops series comes every other year, but in the interim year, there's a different Call of Duty series. I figure maybe they could do a single player year and a multiplayer year, but I don't see them doing that either.
No.
That's too many map packs they're leaving on the table if they do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's only a matter of time, right? Especially as we all get more connected. And game developers want this forced sense of community. Yeah, it's bound to happen.
What do you think, Terrence?
Hold on, how about a sneeze? I don't. Damn. Okay. Hold on. I was waiting for the sneeze to come. It never came. I mean, look at games like Overwatch. That's strictly single. That's strictly multiplayer. Now the problem with the Call of Duty is they come out with multiplayer games every year, and it's always a different iteration of it. It's not a sports game where it's like new, like updated rosters or anything like that. So if they're going to go this route, and it's just going to make it multiplayer, like, do you want to come out with one every year? But at the same time, people do buy them every year.
Right.
So it's kind of like, what the fuck, man? Like, I mean, there's no need for a story. Again, you said 35% of the people that bought the game beat the campaign mode. That's ludicrous. So I can see them saying, hey, just cut that out altogether. Look, people are going to continue to buy these games for God knows why or what reason. Yeah, it's more lucrative for them. Save money, and people still buy them. Now, is fatigue going to set in?
I don't think fatigue will set in.
If it has, if it hasn't already, then
right.
When the fuck is it going to happen?
I mean, people make money playing these games. It's not.
Yeah, they have esports and all that shit now. Look, I don't necessarily care because I haven't played a Call of Duty game in fucking 10 years, but I wouldn't feel right paying $60 because I know that there's just going to be a new one coming out next year. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, people do that anyway. You know what I
mean?
Do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know they do. Like knowing, like paying $60 for like a Madden or anything like that. It's gonna, a new one's going to come out next year. But me personally, I just don't. If it's just multiplayer, like even if no one plays it, throw a single player in there. It gives me a little bit more content. And I feel like my purchase is worth a little bit more because I don't know how long I'm going to be playing a multiplayer, and I like it.
What they could do, which they won't do, is release this single player only Call of Duty, keep it alive for 2 years with map packs and DLC and maybe different game modes and stuff like that. and then in 2 years, like stop the alternating Call of Duty releases. Just have one Call of Duty release. Make the most kick-ass multiplayer suite that you can. Release map packs throughout the 2 years, and then come back with another one with new ideas and new gameplay mechanics and stuff like that.
Your idea is very consumer friendly. Very when they have an audience of 10 million people that are willing to kick out $60 every single year.
Yeah,
and still spend $50 on the maps every year as well.
Yo, that is fucking ridiculous.
I mean, I think that this is actually fine, especially because now we've created this like sub-market of first-person shooters that cater specifically to single player. Like you have your Wolfensteins, you have your Dooms, games out there that you can do single player only if you don't want to go online, and they give you a better experience than Call of Duty does, quite frankly, when compared to the two. So I think this is fine. I think, you know, Call of Duty always has existed primarily as a multiplayer game for, you know, and there are moments in Call of Duty storylines that we remember, like crawling out of the helicopter to see the mushroom cloud and no Russian and shit like that were through the campaign. But I think it's a different day and age now where people,
and they're always trying to recreate those, and they haven't really done that because they're trying to top themselves. Now they're just Michael Bay.
Pretty much. So like I said, I wasn't surprised about this. Frankly, my reaction was, wow, I'm surprised it took them this long.
Yeah. Some people are fucking furious though.
Well, we'll see. We asked listeners, we asked listeners the same question. What do you think this means for the future of multiplayer shooters? And what does this affect your decision to buy Call of Duty or any other FPS for that matter if they were to lop off the single player mode? So Anthony says, thinks the future is bright for single player campaigns in multiplayer I think the future for single player campaigns in multiplayer focused games should follow the path of God of War. Okay. Following this path would affect my decision to buy COD God of War, multiplayer God of War mode games or something. I definitely care about when God of Warring and God of War. Boy. I think Anthony's got God of War in the brain. Amir says, well, Call of Duty is trash, so nothing they do would really ever make me pick it up. But the stories in Battlefield are really good, and I do tend to play those before I go into multiplayer. I think it would only affect me a little because then I wouldn't have to buy it day one since I know it'll drop in price and no story that could be spoiled for me. Cam says, oh, sorry.
Nothing.
Okay, sorry. Cam says, I'd rather a game that knows its base primarily wants multiplayer only to focus on that gameplay. I would rather just not play some tacked on bullshit single player campaign just for them to check that box. Also, welcome to the Kevin and Sammy Monday show. Yes, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn back hired with the WWE officially on Monday Night Raw. Dustin says, honestly, Call of Duty has not made many good campaigns in a while. It's kind of funny that games that were mostly multiplayer games like Madden and NBA 2K have gotten more sales and better reviews since they've added a single player campaign. So who the hell knows what works? That is pretty actually funny how that works. How sports games are adding solo campaigns to make their games stand out and cutting them off because they don't need them anymore.
That's hilarious.
Yuda, I think this is a new comment. I don't remember seeing you before. Yuda says, I think the casual or beginner gamer might be turned off if they feel suddenly starting with multiplayer is overwhelming and that's your only option. If you don't attract new gamers, it might hurt the industry in the long run with a smaller customer base. That is a good point because there aren't very many shooters that kind of ease you into the multiplayer. It's kind of just like drop in and be like, have fun getting smoked for the first 10 hours, guy, while you learn how to play this game.
Yeah. I mean, people have been playing these games for fucking 15 years. They're very similar to each other. It's like riding a bike. So if this is your first foray into that, yeah.
But I guess if the game is good enough, though, you're willing to suffer through that. Because I mean, nobody's good at fucking, PUBG and Fortnite and shit like that when you first get dropped on an island. So just learn by banging your head against the wall for a while.
Yeah, that's what I did with Destiny. I was terrible at Destiny multiplayer. Awful. Like absolutely garbage when I first started playing that. I just couldn't pick it up. Then it just clicked.
Yeah, well, you play Destiny 2, you'll be a god because they are very generous with what they consider a kill. I shot the guy in the foot. Congratulations, that's a kill.
So Mark says, multiplayer mode is the last thing I look for when buying games. So if it's multiplayer only, it's not going to get bought. I like an actual story to my games. Fuck copy paste of Duty. Jason says, I love the Bay of Duty campaigns. The campaigns, at least for me, give me a feel of how most of the weapons work. So when I do play multiplayer, I know which weapon works best for me. Plus, if there's no story, the maps kind of lose meaning. Otherwise, it's just random destroyed cityscape, mountain area, forest, jungle, and such with no context of why we are fighting there. Do you think that they would do well to put almost like a fighting game training mode into the game if they're going to remove the campaign where you can just fuck with all the weapons basically and kind of just mess with
I think you do single player, multiplayer, if that makes any sense with bots.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't they have bots in those games now?
I believe so.
Yeah. Nobody does that shit though.
No.
Johnny says, honestly, if you can't make both single and multiplayer experiences great, then focus on making one of those aspects good. Overwatch doesn't need single player, just like God of War doesn't need multiplayer. And he also plugs Tylem and Drawl, who posted WrestleMania.
Ow. That picture is fucking hilarious.
I will say, highly underrated WrestleMania, and the first WrestleMania that I ever watched live, believe it or not, was 90. So, because I mean, not that I wasn't poor, but I also didn't have $50 to throw around.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
A lot of goddamn money for 3 hours.
Yeah. But when I was 19 and stupid, I was like, yeah, absolutely, let's fucking pay $50 for every pay-per-view.
Yeah, now you pay $10 for an 8-hour pay-per-view.
Right,
think of savings.
Randy says I think he means to say nobody buys Call of Duty games for the single player. He bought the last Call of Duty and still hasn't finished the single player, so he is one of the 65%. Randy is. Rashawn says, when it comes to Black Ops, I buy for the multiplayer and zombies, mainly zombies, but I have enjoyed every Black Ops single player campaign. The story of Black Ops has been a story that truthfully ended with 3. So if they want to make a 4th with just multiplayer modes, I'll buy it. The only issue is that only a select few franchises can do something like this. And if they want to add a story mode, they can always add it in later. In reality, that would be the most Activision thing to happen, where if they rip the campaign out of the initial purchase and then sold it for $20 later. That would be
grimy shit.
That would be peak Activision. Absolutely. Ricky says he's never played Call of Duty, but he's going to stick with Destiny. And yeah, the Warmind, they're dropping info on that for the first time tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. Malcolm says, hasn't played Call of Duty in years, and even when I did single player, it wasn't my top priority. For first-person shooters, I get the games to play the multiplayer setting so I can shoot stuff with my homies. Trey says, never played it's Cow of Duty is what you're looking for there, Trey. As I need a single-player experience in a first-person shooter more than a multiplayer, since most of my friends prefer fighting games. Anthony says, there's room for both. Like, there's no doubt that Grand Theft Auto 6 will have a single player when it comes out in 20 years. Yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto kind of has to have one, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it is. Like Grand Theft Auto.
Just because GTA Online has been wildly successful doesn't mean that it is redefined what Grand Theft Auto fundamentally is. I don't think.
Let's hope not.
Well,
I mean, it should have made $6 billion.
That's also true. That's a fair point.
I forgot that fact.
They should just fucking stunt on everybody and just call the next one Grand Theft Auto 6 billion. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Oh shit.
Stuart says, I only buy first-person shooters when they have a relatively solid and lengthy story mode.
So not too many.
No. And then Gustavo wraps it up. He says, don't believe what they say about not finishing the campaign in time. It's all a lie. They have one, but rather have a battle royale mode instead to try and cash in on the hype. And then he posts the meme of Snobby Jay saying, get this dirty bullshit out of my face.
So just Jay then.
Just Jay, right. But Jay with glasses. and a soul patch.
Jay without glasses is new to me. He has had glasses when I knew him. He looked like a turtle. Like what's that cartoon turtle that was on that kid show? Franklin? He looked like that. Yeah, he looked
Franklin,
like
but the turtle.
Yeah, whoever the turtle was. That's what he reminded me of.
Franklin the turtle.
If you want to know what Jay looks like as a young man.
I also used to wear glasses.
Yeah, he was a turtle.
Before you guys met.
You wore glasses?
I did. I got LASIK right before I started working for the company where we all met.
Yeah, that's what he did. He went, and not that he worked for the company that we worked for, but
he's the only one in the network that didn't work for the company that we used to work for, which is hilarious.
Yeah, literally the only one.
Yeah, all of us.
But he like you was brave enough to have laser shot in your eyes. Lucky enough that they didn't burn your retinas. That's what I think LASIK is.
We can't all be blessed with perfect vision that never changes. You jerk.
Mine is going down. I used to be 15/20, and now I'm 30/20. Apparently,
oh, that's a shame.
Oh shit!
Try like 260, whatever. But I can't remember what my fucking prescription was back in the day. But when they were like, when the price came down, and they were like $2,100. I'm like, yeah, shoot me with all the lasers in my eyes. Get me out of these glasses, because god damn. And look, it shit pays for itself. Glasses are fucking expensive, man.
Yeah, I know. My wife wears glasses and she can't stand them.
They're no joke, man. I said, fuck the glasses. Get the surgery.
I'll get glasses. I don't like touching my eyes.
Yeah, I don't like eye shit.
Oh, I couldn't do it. I tried contacts. It took me 45 minutes the first time to get one in. Nope, not for me.
Nope. I will be fucking Mr. Magoo.
I never heard of that character. I don't know who that is. That's it for us this week. Make sure, like Terrence said earlier, you go to densepixels.com/fans and sign up for our fan group today. We have conversations there every single day. It's a great time. Leave the podcast a 5-star review on iTunes. If you do that, we will read it on the air, no matter how ridiculous it is, and you can plug whatever the fuck you want. Just leave a 5-star review. We'll read it. Facebook and Twitter, you can follow us if you search @DensePixels. You can find us there. Subscribe to the podcast on your podcatcher of choice. We are also all on Twitch TV. Dense Pixels has a main show feed, and then you can follow us individually. I am Dense Pixels Brad. Terrence is Apparition 410. Micah is Dense Black Nerd, and Carrie is Suffix Carrie. So that is it this week. We are going to get back to God of War.
Yes, I am.
I don't know how much more we can really talk about the game on this podcast, because we don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't know what there is to spoil. But
so maybe once we're all done, maybe we'll have to do a special spoiler cast specifically.
Yeah, because there are things you can spoil, which were spoiled for me. Fuck you, Screen Rant.
Really, that is the moral of today's episode as well. Fuck you, Screen Rant.
There you go.
Have a good week.
See ya.
Take it easy.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here, and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.